And you've done mentoring. You've mentored many
Yes.
individuals,
Mm-hmm.
and while you're mentoring, is purpose something that you talk about with these young folks and older folks that you mentor?
You know, that's another excellent question, because earlier in my work career, you know, I mentored people, but it was primarily, you know, how do you get you know, what do you need to do to get a promotion? You know, that sort of thing. And as I grew and start learning, and like I said, start better balance my life, you know, between the spiritual and the physical, you know, I come to realize that, you know, many folks that you mentor have issues beyond, you know, the form in which you're mentoring them, right? And so, you know, I started getting deeper with these folks, and started talking about what is it they really want to accomplish in life, you know, and you find out that, hey, you know, the deeper the conversations get, the more bonded you become with those individuals, you know, especially if they respect, you know, the wisdom and the advice that you're giving them. And so, you know, I'm to the point now where, you know, many people on our board at Mapleton Improvement Coalition, and you know, we're intentionally bringing in younger folks, and so, or some younger folks, you know, and because, hey, you know, let's face it, people like me, we're in the twilight of our, or the last third of our existence on this earth, and so we need to bring others, you know, to come up and take our spot. And so I spend a lot of time with the younger people to teach them how to, all right, well, not necessarily teach, but guide them in terms of leadership, in terms of how to manage and deal with issues and challenges in their lives. And you know, and some of them will come to me and you know, want me to get even more personal, you know, whether it be helping them with their estate stuff and things like that. I have, you know, because I've spent so much time in the financial business, but you know, like I said, I've grown, and I'm trying to see what I can do to help, you know, pass on some of the knowledge that I've grown into.
Indeed, and it's all about building capacity with these young folks, and creating awareness. One of the outcomes that I envision having from this A Collision with Purpose project is to create awareness, and awareness with our young folks, and especially in on the served communities, and looking at how our schools, our teachers can start to have this conversation in these schools, talking about purpose, having these kids a bit more focused, you know, and less, you know, it's good to explore different things, but
sure,
at some point you need to really pay attention.
Yep.
Pay attention.
Well, I'm glad you brought up education, you know, because that's one of our main objectives is, you know, I live in a community where the school system is not highly regarded. And so one of our thrust and emphasis is to help improve our school system here. And I have to report that things are actually going in a wonderful direction, but it's been very, very difficult because, you know, you have the challenges of parental involvement. You have the challenges of economics. You have the challenge of government interference, especially today, you know, in our school system. And then in addition to all of that, right, um, the powers to be are trying to do everything it can to keep God out of our educational system. And so what I see happening is that we're literally growing up a whole generation of kids who have no moral or very little moral foundation. And so it's so then they have no question, or reservation to take you out. And so we have to do something to re-inject some degree of moral and spiritual basis into our kids, into the educational institution. But like I said, it's very challenging. The good news is that we see that we're making progress. For example, at our local high school here, we got $50 million worth of renovations that's going on. A lot of that is due to the advocacy of our organization and people around us. I'm in the schools at least once a month. Just this week, was at one of our local schools talking about integrity and how important it is. Last week, I was at our high school, and at that time talking about, financial responsibility. So the educational system is needs a lot of work and need a lot of people much more engaged.
We can't speak enough about the importance of our education system, because that is our way out.
Yep.
Ultimately.
So just to share with you, and I don't know how much time we have left, but we had a meeting today with the Greater Atlanta Community Foundation, United Way, and some other organizations. And there's a lot of grant money that's floating around. And so we had to pick one or no more than two projects that can be implemented within the next 12 months, and so but those projects have to be under several segments, such as it's got to be either education, affordable housing, which is another huge issue in the country today. What else? And there are two or three others. Well, to your point, I told those folks, we need to focus on education, but more specifically on early education, because we have to start getting those kids that are, when they're young, to get them reading right, to doing their mathematics calculations, additions and subtraction, multiplication. We got to start getting them early.
Yes.
And so, but there are some people who say, hey, wait a minute, that's not an immediate need. We need to focus on affordable housing. We need to focus on homelessness. We need to focus on other things. And my point is, folks, if we can get our kids educated, right, means that they can think and liberate their minds. If we can get them educated, right, with a sound moral or spiritual foundation, all these other problems go away.
Yeah, while we will concede that those other issues are real concerns, I would agree that education is the A1 priority, and that's where we need to begin, and at an early age.
No doubt.
Not when they're in high school, a little bit late.
You know, we just got, you know, $120 million in this county where I live, and another 40 million again, right? And, you know, all these trillions, you know, we don't even talk billions anymore. You know, we in this country, we talk trillions, right? And I keep saying, all those trillions of dollars to deal with some of these social issues. And again, I'm not minimizing those social issues. They're real, right? And they have to be dealt with, right? But if we're looking, we got to start thinking long-term. And if we're thinking long-term, then we got to put those resources into the education of these these youngsters, you know, particularly in communities of color.
Yes, and they already underserved communities, most definitely.
Yep.
Most definitely. Now we're coming close to wrapping up, and let's stay in our younger folks here. And what is the one thing, if there's such a thing, that you want our listeners, and focus on the young folks, to take away from our conversation today?
Well, the one thing I want them to understand is this, and that is that they are significant. All of us, every one of us, you know, has something to give to this world. You see, and so as they grow up, don't let anybody tell you, right, that you're insignificant, and that you can't do this and you can't do it. Don't let anybody tell you. I tell my grandson this all the time. Well, granddad, you know, I can't. No, you can do it. And so that's the one takeaway. If there's anything I can give, is that you're significant, you're important, you have a mind, and you can accomplish things. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't.
That's not just for our young kids, that's for everyone.
All right, okay.
That's for everyone. That's for everyone. And, you know, so any other remarks, anything else you'd like to share before we close down, Thomas?
No, just, you know, like, thank you for the opportunity to, you know, sit down and take a few minutes and talk with you about a very important topic. And just want to say, you know, you and your organization are doing a fantastic job, and I wish you all mega success. And if there's anything that I can do to further assist you, please let me know.
Well, definitely be calling on you.
Okay.
Again. Again.
No problem.
So, Mr. Thomas, I really would like to, I'm saying thank you for joining me today on the A Collision with Purpose project. Your insights will undoubtedly add immense value to the conversation about purpose. I'm looking forward to having you back on the spotlight to continue our conversation about purpose. In fact, I'm going to extend an open invitation to you to come back whenever you can. Do you accept?
Accepted.
Thank you so much. Well,
you're welcome, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Well, folks, this brings us to the end of this edition of the A Collision with Purpose project on the Spotlight. If you're like most of us and would like to have a better understanding of your purpose, then please submit your short video speaking on purpose to acollisionwithpurpose@gmail.com. If you would like to participate in an interview, much like this one with Mr. Thomas, then please submit your request to be interviewed to the acollisionwithpurpose@gmail.com. Please note that your video submission will be posted on our social media platforms. That is it for now. Blessings always.